angry. Select your player. Let's go. Select map.
Oh, I am the DK! I am the DK! Oh yeah, you guys know what DK stands for? Donkey Kong? Well, actually in this case, yeah, probably is Donkey Kong, because this is Mario Kart 64. Now, here's a game that, quite frankly, I should have loved right out of the gates when this thing launched in 1997, and yet, for some reason, I didn't. I sort of passed this one up, as I did a lot of N64 games at the time. You know, when the N64 launched with games like Pilot Wings and Mario 64, you know, I rented the N64, and I loved those games, but, you know, the fact was I owned a PlayStation at the time, and so I was kind of a little bit biased towards the PlayStation. When this game came out, I don't think I gave it a fair chance, and really, I don't remember this game coming out. I don't remember liking this game when it came out, and you know, it's funny now because I play it now, and it's one hell of a fun game. This game is, of course, the second Mario Kart after Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, and it's just as much fun. Not only do you have 2-player now, you have 4-player split screen on the N64. I mean, what more could you ask for? So like I said, this is the sequel to Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. This game developed and published by Nintendo and originally came out in Japan in December of 1996. Came over here to North America in February of 1997. Now, the biggest change from the Super Nintendo is obviously in the graphics, going from Mode 7 graphics to a, you know, true 3D environment. You know, the backgrounds in this game, the tracks themselves, the world you're racing in, is a true 3D engine. However, all the characters on the screen, all the karts on the screen, are actually 2D sprites. So this game definitely mixes a lot of 2D sprites with the 3D graphics in the background, but it pulls it off pretty well, and, you know, it's hard to imagine how they would have pulled off all the round, bubbly, colorful cartoon characters if they had to do it in full 3D with the sort of limited polygon counts that they would have had on an N64 game. So it kind of looks neat having the characters all in sprites. You know, when they get really close to the camera, it becomes obvious. They become really pixelated. And, you know, sometimes when the camera's going around the characters as it jumps from one angle to the next, you can tell. But overall, it looks pretty good. It runs really fast. It's really fluid. And it's a pretty neat looking game overall. Controls are pretty much exactly what you would expect. They are spot on. And that's maybe one thing I didn't like about this game when I first played it, was not being used to the N64 controller. I mean, going from Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, to the analog stick on the N64 definitely takes some getting used to. But, I mean, once you get used to it, the controls in this game, there's really nothing to complain about. Now on to some two-player fun. As some of you may have noticed at the beginning of the video, I had two controllers plugged in the N64, and that was for a good reason. I've got my buddy Derek over here. He's a big fan of the N64 in general. He's also a big fan of the Mario Kart games. And he said straight up to me, you know, you might be able to beat me in a lot of racing games, but you are not going to be able to beat me at Mario Kart. And he's a big fan of the Mario Kart games. And, you know, so needless to say, it's on like Donkey Kong. And we're just having a blast playing this game. This game is so much fun multiplayer. We were playing it back at his house not too long ago with 3 players. And, you know, even just 2 players here, we're going back and forth. You know, some of these races is so close. We're just swearing at each other left, right, and center. You know, that's one thing about Mario Kart is you can be the better player, but a lot of it comes down to luck. I mean, there's a lot of random, you know, obstacles that could hit you. You could be in first place, and it doesn't take much for you to get knocked down to 6th place. Or you can be in 6th place, and, you know, you get a triple mushroom nitro boost, or you get a star, and the next thing you know, you're up in first place. So, you know, it really changes back and forth really quickly. Sometimes it can be really frustrating, especially in some of the levels. Some of the levels just have more obstacles that always seem to get in your way, and it can be really frustrating, but it's definitely a fun multiplayer. And here's the battle mode. Of course, they had the battle mode in the Super Nintendo version as well, and just like the Super Nintendo version, we have 4 levels for the battle arenas. And that's really one thing I have to complain about this game in, is with the big emphasis on multiplayer and being a next-gen game. I mean, just because the Super Nintendo version only had 4 arenas, why does the N64 version only have 4 arenas? And the problem is there's 4 arenas, but we really only like 2 of them, so the battle could be a little bit better in that regards, but once again, it's fun. I mean, just like the Super Nintendo Super Mario Kart, exact same idea. You can take 3 hits, you can get hit by your own shells, you can run into your own banana peels, but generally speaking, you want to hit your opponent 3 times, and then he's dead. And it's great fun too. I mean, like I said, this game's definitely a great multiplayer game, and I think most people know that. Mario Kart's no surprise. But what is a surprise is that I haven't reviewed this game until now. And the funny thing is knowing that Derek was coming over tonight and I wanted to do a 2-player game, and preferably an N64 game, because I haven't done an N64 game in a while, and like I said, he's a fan of the N64 in general. And you know, I was pretty sure I'd done Mario Kart 64 before. It's like, come on, it's Mario Kart 64. It's like, yeah, I've already done Mario Kart 64. And then I went back and looked and said, well, I haven't done Mario Kart 64 yet? Damn. So, I mean, it worked out pretty well. We had fun playing this game, and definitely recommend this game. If you got an N64, and if you got 2 to 4 controllers for it, this is one of the most fun games you can have.
I'm a Wario. I'm gonna win.